Sauce Gardner just told Jet fans exactly what they wanted to hear, but big boy Joe Douglas has got some adult decisions to make over the next calendar year. We explain on Boy Green Daily.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
What's poppin', everybody? Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you get your podcast. A lot of notes and quotes. First off, today is the official start of Jets rookie minicamp. It's going to go for the next 3 days. And there's a lot of things to pay attention to here. First off, the rookies are going to get a chance to run around in the pads and the helmets. It's really shells. They're not in full pads normally, but they run through the little gambit. We get a kind of a sneak peek. Plus, this is almost a tryout period for some of the younger players on the roster. Remember, like guys like Jason Brownlee and other players that got a whack at the piñata. I'm pretty sure the Eminem kid, his name escapes me. You guys remember his name, but, he got an opportunity. And some of these rookies can earn a spot here that ends up translating later. So it's pretty cool. So we got the 3-day rookie minicamp that starts today. Plus, we'll get some extra access to Robert Saleh with a couple of pressers. Looking forward to that. Number 2, shout out to the New York Knicks. Way to go. Knicks and 6 in Philadelphia. What a spectacular game. Knicks get the lead, and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Shout out to the Knicks and Knicks Nation. I know there are a lot of Knicks Jets fans out there. Shout out to you guys. Spectacular. So there's a lot to digest with there. And then let's get to the headline of this video. Sauce Gardner, okay? He said what every Jets fan wanted him to say. Beautiful. He tweeted this out yesterday. I want to be a New York Jet for the rest of my career. Now, I have no idea what prompted this, but the feeling is mutual, Sauce. We never want you going anywhere. The Jets struck gold with the 4th overall pick. This guy looks like, and I'm being a little forward here, not just a little, but this guy looks like a future Pro Football Hall of Famer. 2 years in, 2 Pro Bowls, 2 first-team All-Pros. I mean, he is on a superstar trajectory, and many people believe he is the number 1 corner in all football, and I'd be in that camp that believes that's the case. Now, that decision for Joe Douglas is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I see the video. I want to make sure it doesn't get twisted that like Sauce Gardner wants to be a Jet for life. Big decision for Joe Douglas. This ain't one of them. This is an easy decision. Yes, you're giving Sauce Gardner the bag, baby. And there is a case to be made that he is the best corner in all football, like I just said. And that means he's going to be, inevitably, the highest paid corner in football, which hopefully makes the negotiations very easy. Who's the highest paid at the time? Boop, top him. That's it. Gardner, as part of his rookie contract, signed a 4-year deal for $33.4 million. The Jets also have the 5th-year option. They have to make that decision next May. Easy decision again, except that'll be a juicy number. That projection number is about $19.8 million. That was the 5th-year option for the 2021 first-round cornerback class, like Patrick Surtain, who had that. That's a fully guaranteed number, but a very good number as it is. Currently, the highest paid corner of football right now is Jair Alexander of the Green Bay Packers. He makes $21 million per year. He signed a 4-year deal for $84 million. He's in the middle of that deal. Sauce is going to smash that. Probably the number is probably $25 million because we're going to get a couple other guys. PS2, Patrick Surtain is going to get his number, and there's a few other guys that might get paid between now and then. For people who don't know, okay, you have to complete 3 full seasons before you can discuss a contract extension. So Sauce Gardner wants to be a Jet for life. Even if the Jets wanted to, they couldn't give him a contract extension right now. Per the CBA, you have to wait until his full season completes, and they can start talking to him at the end of next year. Now, here's where we get busy with some of the big decisions, is that technically speaking, starting next offseason, the Jets can pay Sauce. They don't have to pay Sauce. But even though they don't have to pay, I hope that the New York Jets go out of their way to make that official, and they go out of their way to pay him in advance. Because I see my dad's in here. He said Hall of Famer Easy Turbo. But speaking of my father, okay, diehard Dallas Cowboys fan, I want to avoid what the Cowboys are doing, okay? The Cowboys chose to wait to pay their guys. That affected them on the first Dak Prescott contract. That's affecting them now in the second contract negotiation. CeeDee Lamb is set to get paid. Micah Parsons is set to get paid. Now it's a bunch of hoopla because they waited too damn long, did the Cowboys. I want the Jets to see the Cowboys as a cautionary tale, go, oh boy, we don't want to be there. This is a first world problem for the New York Jets. It's having a lot of guys to pay in-house as opposed to hiring mercenaries out there in the universe. The New York Jets want to pay their own guys, which is a great position to be in. But if they do it early, it helps out in multiple ways. Number one, if they pay them early before they have to, again, technically speaking, the Jets have Sauce Gardner, of course, under contract for this season. They have him under contract for next season. If they accept the fifth-year option, they have him under contract for the season after that. Plus, of course, they can play the franchise tag game and control for 2 more years after that. So the Jets have Sauce Gardner under team control through the next 5 years minimum. Okay, so they have him that long if they want to. But I don't want them to stretch it that far because, number one, if you pay him now, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to pay him now because the cornerback numbers are skyrocketing. The wide receiver numbers are skyrocketing. There's certain positions where the numbers are exploding, and it behooves you to pay them early because between me, you, and the 4 walls, it's going to be cheaper now than it is later. You try to wait and play some games. Like Sauce Gardner is the best corner in football. He's not going to suddenly not be the best corner in football. He's going to keep being great. So you see that trajectory. We all see the path. So just pay Sauce. So next offseason, make him the highest paid corner in football. Whatever the number is, boop, penny more. I don't care. That works for me. So the Sauce Gardner conversation should be very simple from that standpoint. And I hope the Jets jump right on it and lock that baby in. But where it gets difficult is who's getting paid beyond Sauce and who isn't. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. The Jets have 9 starters at a minimum. There might be more than that, but this is 9 that are starters, and there's a few other free agents that could become starters through the summer and camp. So I can't project that so far. But 9 right now starters are set to be unrestricted free agents next season. Here is that list. I also have a full article in the YouTube description down below if you guys would like to keep up. Hassan Reddick, he is set to be a free agent after this year. DJ Reed, he is set to be a free agent. Mike Williams, wide receiver. Tyler Conklin, tight end. Tyron Smith, offensive tackle. Morgan Moses, offensive tackle. Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle. Chuck Clark, and Michael Carter II in no particular order. Those 9 players, who are all starters in a mix of offense and defense, are set to be free agents next offseason. So that is a conversation of, oh boy, who we keeping of this group? There's a lot of important pieces there. There are hired mercenaries like Hassan, Mike Williams, Tyron Smith, and players of that nature. And there are homegrown guys like Michael Carter II on this list. There are those free agent quasi guys like Reed and Conklin and players of that nature. Who do you pay from that group? Plus, put that on top of everything else. The Jets open Pandora's box for paying the 2022 class. That includes Sauce, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, and Breece Hall. And of the first 3 first-round picks, you have that multi-year control because of the 4-year standard contract plus the 5th-year option. So you control those 3 for a little extra time. Breece Hall, you don't. Any non-first-round pick only gets 4 years standard control, which means after this upcoming season of 2024, there's only 1 year left on Breece Hall's contract. That's the first time you can pay him, too. That gets spicy because you have the evaluation of the running back position, but Breece Hall's a freaking beast. He's been spectacular for the Jets, running the football, catching the football, you name it. And plus, he's going to have this awesome season, of course, with Aaron Rodgers. Like, oh boy, there is a lot of money to pay for the New York Jets. And Joe Douglas has to just make some big boy decisions. So who they pay and where they pay, all those questions are up for debate. I don't know. All I do know is Sauce ain't going nowhere. You're locked in. I hope the same is true for Garrett Wilson. Boom. I wish all of them, as soon as Sauce said that, Garrett says that, and Breece says that, and Jermaine, and all these dudes come out and say it. I hope so. because that was a historic class. And let's lock in that historic class. Let's let that become the nucleus for this new era of New York Jets football with this logo on my head, the logo on my shirt. Shout out to Homage, baby, for the New York Jets old school logo. There it is, baby. And then I'll turn the helmet so you guys can see it right there, baby. There you go. The old school logo, which is the primary logo. Like, let's make this the nucleus of the team moving forward. So those are the deals. But I'll be curious to see the plan of how they pay them and who they pay first. But my advice to Joe Douglas, if he's listening to the show, to the program every morning, 7:30, is pay the guys early. But the harsh reality is you can't pay everybody. So you have to make business decisions, but hopefully the top guys you do, Sauce, Brees, Garrett, Jermaine, I'd like all four of those locked in. And to be honest, if you have to start making business decisions, Michael Carter II or DJ Reed, boy, I'd lean towards Michael Carter II. Scott Mason, Play Like a Jet, he joined me on my radio show. You guys can also find that interview on my podcast, audio only version on Boy Green Daily. If you search Boy Green Daily wherever you find your podcast, you will find a bonus interview I did on my radio show yesterday, the Man Show Boy Green. That interview is available with Scott Mason, and I asked Scott, good old buddy of mine, hey man, if you could only pick one of the two, DJ Reed or Michael Carter II, who you picking? He said DJ Reed, boundary corners and that level of importance. I said, interesting. We didn't have time to get into a debate because we're just doing an interview where I'm asking him questions as opposed to here. But I will tell you, I'm leaning towards Michael Carter II. Finding slot corners is really tough, and you got a really good one that's homegrown. And DJ Reed is older, so, eventually he's going to fall off a cliff. MC2, for me personally, is the one I sign. And plus, the money is more manageable at slot corner than it is at boundary corner. DJ Reed, I imagine, after signing a 3-year deal for $11 million per, is going to be looking for a significant pay raise over that number. If Sauce is going to get 22, 23, 24, 25 million plus per year, DJ's probably in the 15 plus. And are the Jets willing to do that for a corner who's 27 now, will be 28 by the time he hits free agency next year? I don't know. I love DJ Reed. He's been one of the best free agents the Jets have had in their free agent acquisition history. He's been spectacular. There's no question about it. But again, you can't pay everybody. So I wonder who is the group. When I look at this list, guys like Tyron Smith, I could see coming back, but I could also see moving on because of Olu Fashanu. And 1 year Tyron Smith, he moves on. Fashanu steps in. He's a new long-term left tackle. Morgan would be an interesting one. It depends. Do they believe in Carter Warren? Do you bring back Morgan Moses back on a nice 2 or 3 year deal for the foreseeable future at right tackle would be nice. Mike Williams, again, it also depends on the development of some of these other guys. If Malachi Corley looks like the second coming of something, plus you're going to move on from Alan Lazard next year, maybe Mike can come back. He's probably going to be looking for big money after a nice year with Rodgers. Reddick's another one that's kind of interesting as a hired mercenary from a pass rusher perspective. I guess it also depends on the development of Will McDonald. Does he take over? And then you got Will and Jermaine Johnson as your two bookends. That could be possible, certainly as I look at this list. Conklin is up in the air. He could sign a very similar deal to the one he did, which was a 3-year, $21 million deal. I could see them doubling down at tight end, but also, again, another one that depends on the development of Jeremy Ruckert, which is something else that's kind of interesting. So fascinating. But I do hope, because it's been a long time, because remember, when we had that big-ass gap before Quinnen got his deal, he's the richest Jet in history with his $96 million extension. That's the most total value and per-year value of any player in Jets franchise history. We had a long, uncomfortable record. DJ Reed is 27 for those counting at home. Jared B just asked. DJ Reed is 27. He will be 28 by the time free agency next year kicks around. But I just have to say that I'm not sure on some of these guys what's going to happen with some of these big boy free agents. I'll be kind of curious to see how that develops in the Q&A and pieces that come out. John Sauer says McDonald is a big piece. Hope he pans out. Again, he could be the potential replacement for Reddick if Will McDonald takes his massive leap this year that some of us believe that he's possible of taking too. That's another one that could potentially be in the mix. And plus, like I said, all the 2022 guys are eligible for the New York Jets. The Jets have plenty of bag next year, but again, there's a lot of decisions to be made there. I will also open up the phone lines here, get some of you guys on the program. It's good. Again, you want to hear that from Sauce. Sauce wanted to stay. Like I was talking about earlier, that Quinnen Williams deal, it had been a long time before the Jets signed anyone to a long-term deal. That's a double-decker because on one hand, they couldn't sign anyone because they were drafting so poorly that there was no one to sign. And number two, anytime there was, it was kind of like a questionable situation like Marcus May. Like, do you give him the long-term deal? I don't know. Video call-in link. I will drop that in. That is now in on YouTube. If you guys would like to call into the show, feel free to do so. It is the pinned comment on YouTube. If you're watching on either of our other locations, heavy on Jets or Twitter, you have to jump over to youtube.com/boygreen25 to call into the show. And you'll see it in the chat section. Feel free to do so. Also, feel free to join the Boy Green Super Fan Club membership. For a small fee every month, you can help support the show. So let's get it rocking, baby. All right, let's jump over to those phone lines quickly. Our boy Johnny joins us here on the show. What's up, Johnny?
What's up, dude? Hey,
I like it.
I know normally I'm the closer, but you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I like it. Opening. I love it.
I'm just here to say,
Mm-hmm.
go New York, go New York, go, go New York, go New York, go. I just wanted to say that for
Wow.
Allen because
Yes.
he's been giving us so much crap for the last I don't know how many games with the Knicks and all that, and today he's super quiet.
I noticed that.
Sauce wants to be a Jet for life.
Mm-hmm.
You got the captain, CJ Mosley, coming out talking about, I want to be a Jet for life.
So cool.
What a time it is to be a Jet fan right now. When's the last time we had a team that speaks so highly of our Jets?
Mm-hmm. And proud. There's a dignity. There is a like the Jet that's on our hats or our shirts or jerseys or anything. There is a pride there. There is like, yeah, we're the Jets. We're going to shock people this year. We're going to be doing things. There's a love for the teammates. There's a love for each other. There's a love for playing for the brand, which it's been a long ass time since we've been there.
Hell yeah, dude. And I mean, New York teams are doing great right now.
Yeah.
They brought up your guy, the Mets did. Christopher Scott.
Yes.
They brought him
Christian
up from
Scott.
Syracuse.
That's right. I talked about that yesterday on the Syracuse Match broadcast. I wished him well. I think he's supposed to make his debut on Saturday, I think I saw. So
Saturday,
good for the kid. Yeah, he's
So-
given up a couple of homers early, which has been a little down here in the minors, but as soon as he gets past that, he's been spectacular. So we'll see. I hope the kid's ready.
Yeah, man. So I'm hyped, dude. I'm excited. I think we need to pay MC2 first before we
think so,
start
too.
paying all those other guys, and then kind of from there go and see what we got. I mean, I'm guessing they're gonna have to franchise tag one of those dudes, right?
Probably. And the earliest one, I guess, would be, well, actually, let me look at this 9-man list real quick. Let me see. Is anyone worthy of the franchise tag? Maybe MC2. If you don't pay him this summer, I guess MC2 could be the one because I'm sure that number, I don't have that number in front of me, but I don't know if they distinguish between slot corner and boundary corner. He could be one that gets it if it's not the $19 million number. So that could be, or, and this will be 2 years from now, that would be Brees. And I worry because like that could really piss Brees off. I saw what that did to Saquon. That kind of scares me a little bit on the relationship of the Jets being destroyed if you just start playing franchise tag game with him. But I get it's a business, so it's kind of a tough balance there.
Yeah, but Saquon was a first round pick.
Yeah.
Right? And
True,
then
right.
And then, unfortunately Brees, well, fortunate for us, Brees was in the second round. So
right.
I mean, I don't know. Do whatever they do, man. Again, in JD I trust.
Mm-hmm.
What he's doing is something that has not been done. Again, I know Allen speaks very highly of the whole, you judge a GM by his wins and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm just trying to start shit again this morning.
That's funny. That's great. Yeah. Stoke the flames, baby. I appreciate it.
I'm in a good mood, bro. Knicks won.
Yes.
Want to repeat that again for Allen to hear. Knicks won. Hey,
Knicks won. And they put the Pacers? Come on, man. I like the Knicks' chances, man. Then you're in the Eastern Conference Finals, baby.
It still hurts my my feelings seeing Obi Toppin in that Pacers jersey, but
yeah, that'll be weird.
When's your pops coming on?
That's a good question. I got to double check. I think it's Saturday. I think it's what's today? Friday? Oh, today's Friday. So I believe it's tomorrow. I think I'll have to double check on that one.
I'll be out with my pops. I'll pull my pop.
Oh yes, yeah, right. So, that's a promise. We're gonna have a family affair. So yeah, let's line it up, baby.
We'll have the minds of the greats.
Yes,
up there. All right, bro. Do your thing, man. Again, go Knicks and JETS. Just as always. Peace.
That's it, baby. There's Johnny. Love it. Love it. Absolutely. That'll be cool. Family Fair. I think the fathers might be trading some stories, which might embarrass me and Johnny, but I guess we'll see. So I'm pretty sure he's on tomorrow. But he was kind of on the chat earlier, so I'll see if I get confirmation on that. We've been kind of moving the target, but I believe it is Saturday. All right, let's go to our favorite offensive coordinator. Let's go to EZ Edward joining us here on the program. What's up, Ed?
Morning, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. You still in North Carolina?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look. Capitol Boulevard, Wake Forest, Lewisburg. I'm in Raleigh right now.
Okay, nice.
I have a load of stone on the truck, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got to go into a small neighborhood. I hope the tree's out of the way so I can dump this shit. There's some big trees down that block. This truck is really too big for that local shit.
All right,
anyway.
Yeah.
My thoughts on Sauce and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Jet for life. I just wish there was a thing that they could add to the NFL Players Association, or where you could get one offensive player and one defensive player that does not affect the cap hit.
Interesting. I think NFL teams would be for that. I don't know if the players would be. Although I guess why would it affect the players? So yeah, that could be
You'd be
a
able
future
to keep
negotiation
your teams together.
tactic. Yeah.
This way you could have, your highest paid defensive player and your highest paid offensive player do not affect the cap. Very simple.
Yeah. That's an intriguing idea. I think if that happens, the players would want even more money since there's no restrictions on the cap and they're not affecting their teammates. So that might get froggy from that money perspective. But I think overall, for the owners to save it off the cap would be interesting.
I'm thinking it more that you'd be able to keep the team continuity together, where you wouldn't have to worry about having to cut one of your better players because of cash. And you'd be able to keep even though the other players would make less than him, at least you'd have that core. You keep the core team together longer.
Yeah, again, the longer we can keep the core together, the better, because ultimately, which is kind of the hidden theme of the video, is you won't be able to pay everyone. So, boy, the decisions they make of who to keep and who not to keep, and it's a gamble because you might choose to keep the wrong guy, and then you let the right guy go, and then he goes somewhere else and blows it up. So it's a compelling pitch. I don't think the new CBA is till 2030, so the Jets won't be able to escape with this problem for now, but it's something to think about.
At least exempt the quarterback.
That's right. Yeah, to be honest, because it is eating up. I have to see the percentage, especially since Rodgers took the pay cut. But yeah,
20% of the cap is a quarterback, and then
80%
Let
me
is
actually
the
see on the
guys?
Jets salary cap. What is it this year? Let me see. Let me see. NFL salary cap, 24-24 Jets. Let's see. What is Aaron Rodgers counting against the cap this year? That'll be interesting to see. Let me see.
It's a shit ton this year.
Oh yeah.
Last year, Zach made more than him last year,
which is crazy. That is absolutely crazy to think about. So we'll see.
Actually, Zach played more than him last year, so it worked out. Financially speaking.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. It's been a hot second since we had the full Rodgers experience. That's I can't wait for this year. Yeah,
Only
I know.
SMH. What was the old saying? We just can't have nice things.
Yes, we can't have nice things. That's exactly right. So anytime that ends up happening, let me see. Aaron Rodgers is accounting for. Wow, it's a relatively small number. His cap hit this year is only $17 million. He's counting for 6% of the cap this year. Very nice.
Well, that's not too bad. But sometimes these guys, have $30 million.
Oh, 100%. And the number is exorbitant. Right. It's like 20 or 30% of the cap situation. Probably Dak Prescott. I think he has like a $59 million cap hit this year or something. So it's some ridiculous number. It's like 25% of the cap or something.
Right. You shouldn't have to have a shitty defense and cut people just because you have a good quarterback.
Right. Well, hey, look what happened to the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's number finally caught up cap hit wise. It's in the 40s, and they had to like a ritual bloodletting everywhere because of it. So, there's good for the Jets and bad for the Jets with some of those too.
Well, I think we're going to have a very good season.
Mm-hmm.
Knock on wood, all things considered. I mean, on paper, I don't see the Bills beating us. I don't see Miami beating us. they've proven they can't beat anyone with a winning record.
Right. Yeah, I'm feeling good, to be honest with you. Jermaine Johnson joined NFL Network this week, and they brought up this super depressing stat. I tweeted it out. It was from Patrick Claybon. He said that the Jets, opponents against the Jets, only dropped back 163 times when the Jets had a lead. And that was the 31st in the league. Basically, teams never had to worry about the Jets having a lead, so thus they got to do all kinds of stuff. And when you think about that number, the Jets were 7th in the league in team sacks. They had 48 sacks last year. Despite only facing the 163 dropbacks with the lead, which was near the bottom of the league, they were still able to crank out an insane amount of sack production. So just imagine what's going to happen this time when you have Aaron Rodgers. So you're going from like 32nd quarterback to top 15 at least, and I think it'll be higher than that, but let's be conservative. You're going to be playing with hundreds of more snaps of leads, which means the Jets defense should be able to get home more, which spins the entire story. So that's compelling.
Yeah, we have the number one defense in the league. We had the number one defense last year. They were on the field 65% of the time, and we would break number 3. Could you imagine?
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. We won 7 games with 3 junior varsity quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That's
what makes me feel good. 100%. It's wild.
NFL. We won 7 games with no quarterback in a quarterback league. So the rest of the team's solid. And as far as if one of those guys has to get cut, unfortunately, it's going to have to be Breece Hall, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because you can always get fresh young running backs every year in the draft, but some of those other skill players are really hard to find. It's harder to find good wide receivers and good pass rushers and stuff like that. You can always get good running backs. Unfortunately, because I love Breece.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be tough. I go back and forth just because of his impact on the team and how much better he is than the common running back. But you might ultimately end up being right, Easy. You might be ultimately end up being right.
Can you imagine if these 2 young beastie running backs are all that? Can you imagine if we wind up with another Ironhead Hayward or another Earl Campbell? I mean,
sign me
that'd
up.
Be great.
100%.
Anyway, I'm coming up on my exit. I gotta go. I need my GPS. So you have a good one. JETS,
Thanks,
everybody. Bye.
There he is. Easy joining us here on the show, our resident offensive coordinator. And he needs the GPS over the call-in line. I respect it. Safe travels out there to our truckers. All right, let's go to our Florida State brethren, our representative. That is Ricky, New York, joining us here on the program. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's happening, Paul? That was an interesting phone call. So we're going to turn the NFL into a keeper league. That was an interesting take. It's at least he had something different.
That's true.
Yeah. I do have to push back about the Breece Hall thing.
Me too.
Do you remember that trap play we had in Green Bay where they handed it to him and it looked like
he cuts against the grain,
and then he just takes it to the house? The Denver game, one handoff goes the distance. Breece Hall isn't just another running back. I mean, you can find just another running back in the draft. He is not just another running back.
Think about all of them. Go back to the Washington trap play off the left. Breaks it to the house. The Buffalo game, coming off a friggin' torn ACL. Yes. His first 2 runs went for 26 yards and 83 yards. And the 83-yarder, if Garrett wasn't goofing around going, oh, he's gone, that would have been a touchdown. And then we wouldn't have gotten the drum at the end because the Jets would have had a big enough of a lead where it wouldn't have mattered. So I'm glad how it all worked out. But Breece Hall should have taken that to the house. So, there's so many explosive plays from Breece Hall's history that makes me go, oh, yeah, baby. And I want that forever, man.
And think about it. That was with an absolute garbage passing game where all the boxes were stacked and they looked at him like he was our only weapon. Imagine with Rodgers and all these receivers when we can spread things out and they can't stack the box anymore. You have any idea what kind of year Breece is about to have? Now, my point would be compared to the astronomical figure that corners get, that wide receivers get. Out of the core 4, Running back is the most affordable of any of them. You pay Brees now, front load the deal, get as much of it out of the way as you can. Then the next few years are cheap and it clears room to pay those other guys. But you pay Brees now. Absolutely.
Yeah, because to your point, if you think about the numbers at the top of the market, because I just looked it up, so you have Jair Alexander, he's $21 million at corner. Wide receivers hovering around 30 now with the recent AJ Brown deal. That's in the 30 range. Top running back money is Christian McCaffrey at 16 million a year. That's the high end, and no one since Christian broke the market, no one's gotten near him. All the other deals have been floating in here, so I'll be kind of curious to see how that plays out in the negotiation, because Christian McCaffrey looks like the outlier to the running back market. So, yeah, 100%. There's a compelling case to hit Brees first because he's closer to unrestricted free agency because he's a non-first round pick. You can hit that one first. And Connor Rogers has said it on Badlands a few times. Give him that 3-year deal, which is like 3-year franchise tag money, which is hovering in that 12, 13 range, and then just pay him and ride it out. I would love to keep Brees. I see all these people love you in here, Ricky, by the way. I'm seeing Genergy in here screaming Ricky and everyone else. So you are, there it is. Ricky, you're getting a lot of love in the chat, baby.
I actually wasn't paying attention to the chat for once, but that was me. If I'm Joe Douglas, I pay Brees, I pay Michael Carter, and I give Conklin like a 1 to 2 year extension, and that's where I'm starting. That's where I'm starting. I love DJ Reed. I would love to keep him, but you're not paying Sauce 20 something and paying him 15, 16 too. It's just not happening.
We're on the same page there. That's what I think for DJ. I think he's going to want, and with all due respect, he should want the number I'm about to say is in the 15, 16 range. He was making about 11 per on this current deal. He's outplayed it, so he's going to want a few shekels more, plus the increase in the market. So I'd probably put him at 14, 15. But Michael Carter II, where's that going to be? 8, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there, plus Taryn. Like, boy, you just can't invest all of that at corner with everything else you have to pay. So it seems like to me, if I had to have a gut call right now, DJ Reed ultimately is the odd man out there.
That's what I think too. But you know what? Then next year in the first round, Saleh can get his defensive guy like he likes. We can go back to that and take the best corner and put him opposite Sauce, and that's how I would approach it. But as a former running back myself, when I was young, I loved the running backs, and
same.
I was certainly no Brees. I was 5 foot something, about 170 pounds, and I got murdered constantly. But I wasn't any good. But Brees is something special, and we really, really need to keep him.
I'm a former running back too. 5 foot something, 100 pound, nothing. Unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah, Brees is better than us. Hopefully we could keep him for the long term.
Yep, that like I said, that's where I would start. Anyways, have a great day, Paul. I'll let you get to some other callers, and go Jets.
There he is, Ricky New York, baby. One of my favorites. All right, let's go to another favorite. He's on the move. He's moving and grooving. He's in the El Coche. Let's get it to Alan here on the program. What's up, Alan?
Hey, what's going on, Paul?
Let's go Pacers. Oh, my God. Sorry, Johnny, and all the Knicks fans in here. Ooh.
Oh, I hate Knicks fans. Oh, my God, with a passion. Oh, my. I don't know I hate more Knicks fans or Ranger fans, but luck, it looks like both of them might get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Going from someone who loved to Ricky for Ricky and then going to me, so it's definitely quite a contrast. I'm in the opposite. I would have dealt DJ Reed already. I wouldn't have waited. I think sometimes with JD, I think he waits too long. Similar with the Bryce Huff situation. Sometimes you got to get rid of a guy a little early to get value than losing somebody for nothing. And as far as Michael Carter II is concerned, or Michael Carter, the cornerback, is concerned, I would have given him the Teron Johnson contract already. I'm surprised it hasn't happened. Just give him the 3-year, $31 million and call it a day. But again, DJ Reed should have been dealt. I think he's going to look at the L'Jarius Sneed contract as a contract that he's going to want. So I know you have mentioned 15, 16.
Yeah.
I think he goes and gets about 18, 19 million dollars. It definitely will not be from us. It won't. Because I think Sauce is going to get 30 million a year. I think Sauce I think Sauce is going to get about a 5-year. What I'm thinking is a 5-6 year deal at $30 million per. With if it's a 6-year deal, maybe 4 or 4.5 of those years being guaranteed. There is
Damn.
no way that Sauce gets less than $30 million a year. I just don't think so. He's a guy that wants to reset the market.
Well, that would reset the market by $9 million. But I do think that between now and then, which again, he's not allowed to get paid till next offseason, I think several corners are going to top Jair, who's currently at 21 per. So PS2 is getting in there. I got to look at the list of all the guys who are eligible each year before we get to Sauce coming up next offseason. But yeah, wow, 30 would be a lot. But to be honest, what I'm willing to do blank check for Sauce. Whatever he wants, he's my guy, and I'm willing to do it. Now, the thing that I'm curious on the DJ Reed thing, why Joe Douglas didn't do something one way or the other. DJ Reed is a $15 million cap hit, which is restrictive to a lot of the moves that Jets could have, would have, should have made this year. So it behooved them to do something, to either trade him or shift his contract or extend him or something, because just leaving it as is was ballsy. I don't even know if that's the right term I want to use, but it's interesting because that was so restrictive in a lot of other respects of what they could have done with him and others. So that one was puzzling to me. I get it, just going all in and the Cowboys all in of riding out with DJ Reed, and then whatever happens next year happens next year, and hopefully you get a comp pick in the future, I guess. But yeah, that one was a bit bizarre to me.
I call it more poor roster mathematics, in my opinion. I wouldn't have waited. I would have extended him, or I would have dealt him. Again, Detroit needed a cornerback this offseason. They got Carlton Davis instead of DJ Reed. If I was them, that was the deal I would have offered. I would have offered DJ Reed to Detroit for maybe a second. You see, in my opinion, I think it's much easier to get a number 2 cornerback than getting a slot corner. I think Michael Carter II is a guy that is invaluable. He's a guy, to me, he's the second most important defensive back on our team. I would rather pay him now than wait on DJ Reed. And I think DJ Reed, again, this is going to be his last contract. He's not going to settle for $15 million. There's no way. And as you said, as the cornerbacks are continuing to get paid higher and higher, he's going to look at his values and be like, I'm an $18 million quarterback. People still say that I'm a top 10 corner in the league. Top 10 corners in the league get $17 to $20 million a year. So as much as people think that they can get him at a discount.
I am curious, though, because DJ Reed had analytics the first time around in his first free agency wagon. He was very upfront about it in the press conferences after he signed with the Jets. I'm among the top corners in football with Jalen Ramsey and this when you look at these numbers, and he still only got 11. So I'm curious, despite the analytics and the numbers that really favor things that DJ Reed has done, even in his time with the Jets, which adds to the pile from his Seahawks and 49ers days, that he doesn't get the respect he deserves. But maybe he does ultimately get those numbers, because I think he's getting a lot more pub here in New York than he was getting anywhere on the West Coast.
For a $15 million number 2 cornerback in New York, you don't think there's a lot of teams out there that look at him as a number 1 corner?
That's a good point. Yes. That could be, if people view him in that light. That's interesting, because the Jets have a first world problem at corner, I guess, so we evaluate it a lot differently, I imagine.
Absolutely. But again, happy Friday, and let's go Pacers, man. Have a good one, man.
I love Alan, man. I love Alan. Oh God, and I missed it. I was on the Jake Asman show. We had to cut off early to hop on over to Jake Asman, and we did stream that over here as well. So that's hopefully you guys got to see a lot of that. Jake does awesome stuff. But NY Jets FL and Alan were supposed to be going at it. I couldn't stay on long enough to see whether or not that beef or that shout out, like that wrap off where Jake Asman's in the middle just going like. Wasn't really sure what was happening there, but that was a lot of fun. I love Alan. He's a great villain. Villain in the streets. Love it. It's phenomenal. All right, make sure you guys like the video, hit subscribe. We got about 400 people in the room. We appreciate you supporting the program. Again, live every single friggin' day, baby, at 7:30 in the morning. I'll give you another couple of shout-outs. Hopefully you guys saw the RG3 interview. It's one of our most popular interviews we've had here on the channel, which I'm really proud of. So I'm glad we were able to get an awesome guest, that you guys really enjoyed the guest, and there's been a lot of great commentary. So if you haven't yet, you can watch it in multiple fashions. It's in the audio-only version if you prefer that. Again, Robert Griffin III, former number 2 overall pick, quarterback, and ESPN analyst joining us. Plus, it was in the live section and video section. Wherever you see it, you could see the full RG3 interview talking all things Jets. And I'll just tell you guys this. If you guys support these interviews and you enjoy the content and you like the big-name guests coming, the more you guys can share and promote that interview, the more of them I can continue to get because people say, oh, wow, okay, people are digging this. They love it. So to see that interview with RG3 and seeing it blowing up, it just inspires me to get even more guys for you to get cool people to this YouTube channel so you guys can see more stuff. So Jared B., part of the Boy Green Soup Fan Club, appreciate that. Best interview ever, Paul and RG3, who I've never met before. So that was spectacular. Absolutely cool. And it was nice. It was nice. So RG3 lived up to the hype, baby. It was good to finally get him on the show. All right, let me look at a couple comments here, then we'll sign off. Yeah, it seems a lot of people are feeling a little bit differently than Alan on some of the Sauce numbers. Sean Bennett says, personally, $25 million per year, and other people in other directions. I think he's a little aggressive on some of his numbers. Now, the DJ Reed thing, maybe he's right, and maybe people view him as a number 1 corner and he gets that kind of money. I just kept viewing him as a very, very good number 2 corner, which I thought would be in that 15, 16 million range. But if 30... Dakota J says Sauce is worth more than $30 million. And he is. He's spectacular, but you play the market. I'd be surprised if he reset it to that level. The Jets did it back in 2019 with C.J. Mosley making him the highest paid linebacker in football, and that was by, a $3 or $4 million plus window. Like Quan Alexander, here's that funny story. Quan Alexander became the highest paid linebacker in football for like 5 minutes with the 49ers. And then the Jets came over the top with CJ Mosley at $17 million per. And I'm pretty sure it's like a $3 or $4 million per year gap where the Jets just went boom over the top. And you're like, Jesus, whoa, okie dokie. So maybe they do that for Sauce, but I think it's going to be, my gut says 25 million plus per range. But again, I don't know what PS2 and some of these other corners are going to get, which could change the conversation, I guess. But wow, 30 for Sauce. If Sauce wants 30, I'd give him 30. I'd give him whatever he wants. He's just the right moxie, man. He's an awesome player. He's great for the team. He's great in the locker room, great with the fans, great in the community. He checks off all the boxes. He is a face of the franchise. He is someone that you want to build around. You wish you could have 100 Sauce Gardners on the team. So whatever he wants, I'm willing to pay. But hopefully they could just lock him in long term and give him a lifetime deal. Hell, give a Patrick Mahomes like deal, a 10-year deal, as far as I'm concerned, and lock him in and keep him a Jet for life. Because I don't want this to be, oh boy, Jamal Adams is going to be a Jet for life, and then he's gone. I just want to make sure that we lock in our guys and make sure that this core nucleus, this foundation, can do it. And by the way, just coming back to this roster and this team, I think this team has a chance to win a championship. This team, 2024, this roster, it's impeccable. It's a top 10 roster in football. Aaron Rodgers is spectacular. Being conservative, Aaron Rodgers is a top half quarterback. He is in the top 16 quarterbacks that's in the league. And I think he's much better than that. But being conservative, he's a top 16 quarterback paired with this defense, paired with this talent, paired with this schedule, paired with everything. The Jets have a path to the AFC's title. They have a path to the playoffs. They have a path to the Super Bowl. They have a path to accomplish anything and everything they want to accomplish. Where are the weaknesses on this roster? Where? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Nitpick, safety, this depth, that depth. But to be honest, it's all nitpicking. That's what's happening here, which makes it a pretty exciting time to be a New York Jets fan. Make sure you guys check out the article below, a full piece on the Sauce Gardner thing, him wanting to be a Jet and some of the big decisions that are coming up for Joe Douglas. Make sure, again, you guys like the video, hit subscribe, keep spreading the good word. My next big goal on the YouTube channel is getting to 10,000 subs, baby. And we're getting there. We got 6,500 subscribers, so we still got another couple G's to go. But I love how we're blowing up, baby. This is our community. This is the Jet community. This is your show by the fans for the fans. We'll keep rocking. Enjoy the Jets rookie minicamp coming up this weekend. We'll also be having my pop coming on over the weekend. We'll provide you some extra content if and when it comes, baby. Any surprise action here for the New York Jets. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning live at 7:30 for Boy Green Daily. God bless. Take care, everybody.